Over the years we've had a little bit of leaking around the base of our chimney here, and I've known about them and seen them online too. The guys, they put in what's called a cricket. So we're going to build a cricket, and I'll show you how I go about it. I've seen a lot of stuff on YouTube and videos on how to do it. They're really not very good. A lot of steps left out and a lot of what I would call details. So I'm going to try to do my best to fill you in on that. So the problem is you have a roof that slopes, and this the water comes down off a fairly good roof, good section of roof, and this is a wide chimney. As you can see from this shot, it's about 58 inches wide. During heavy rains, water comes down and hits here, and it stagnates. And over the years, you can see I've added layer upon layer of tar in here to stop it from leaking, but every once in a while, it starts to leak again, and you have to redo it and redo it and redo it. And frankly, I'm getting tired of it. So what the cricket is it's a triangular piece of material that comes up the roof, like so, and back, and it comes up a bit on here. So the idea is any water at this point will run to the side, and any water that's coming this way will go around. So I had started working on it up here, but it's actually difficult. So what I've decided to do, I made the measurements on that. Well, I'm going to build the basic pieces in my garage, and then I'm going to cut the shingles out and bring all the pieces up here and finish it on the roof. One of the first things I had to establish is what is the slope of the roof. So here are my little marks. I measured a foot down, and then I had a level. I don't have it with me now, but I have a level from there to here, and I measured that distance. So that's a foot. That's 4 inches. So we got what's called a 412. So every 12 linear inches up the roof, you're increasing by 4 inches. That's important. So this is the jig that I've made for making my cricket. And it's basically, I'm using a sheet of plywood. I need the plywood to fill in make the top pieces for the cricket. But the plywood itself becomes a great framing jig. So in two ways, it's a flat surface to work on. As you see, I've chalk lined the outline of my cricket frame there. And the other big thing is we have a 412 slope. So this is a 4-foot sheet of plywood. 412, that's 4 feet. 4 times 4 is 16. So I've got this end of the plywood lifted up off the ground, 16 inches. So this is at 16 inches. Now I haven't built, this isn't a full 4 feet. I've decided to come out kind of an arbitrary number. It is 38 inches. So this is just, I think this is just an easier way to do it. I can build it here in the garage. I don't have to crawl around, go up and down a TV tower, antenna tower to get to my roof and cut the pieces on site. A lot of people do it that way, but I found it easier and can do a better, more accurate job here. So this is just an arbitrary number. I originally had started making the cricket way longer, and I realized it doesn't need to be like that. So again, we got 38 inches that way, 18 inches in height, and the measurement upstairs I showed you was 58 inches. So what I did was I made this fixed step. That's 57 inches, And the reason for that is half-inch piece sheet of plywood. That half-inch sheet of that plywood, when it's all said and done, it'll come out flush with the edges of the chimney. So a couple things here that are important that I've done. Not everybody has access to a handy-dandy welding square like that, but that square holds this whole structure here perfectly for me and solid. And then I've gone ahead and cut that angle piece and cut the angle down there. And the other important thing is to get this level. So there we go. This is parts level. So we're square, we're level. And start to work from there. So and I ran the string line down here so that I could record the angle here. So setting this protractor on there is my angle. And the interesting thing is, the reverse angle of that is the angle is down here, angle's up there. So one side is 37, the other is 53 for 90. But it might be hard to see in the light of the angle. But on this protractor, from that pink string, I have scribed a line. So that's my angle for my cuts. And if you follow that angle down, that's the way the saw is set up. Right on that line. So from that line, we can go ahead and cut that board. Now the problem is the opposite angle of that is a much sharper angle and is more than my saw can do. I can't swing that saw far enough to do that. So I have to do these cuts freehand. So the other thing is, because you've got a 4x12 slope, the end of this board is cut square. The end of this board is beveled to allow for the slope of the roof. So with the 412, so we need to know what that slope of that angle is there over that. So you got a slope of 4 over 12 is equal to x over 1.5. 2x4 is 1.5 inches. So 4 times 1.5 divided by 12 is a half. Yep, 4 inches and 12, 4 times 1.5 is 6 divided by 12 is a half an inch. So you need to take a half an inch off the edge of this board in 1.5 inches. So that is the slope to take off of there. I don't have a compound miter saw or anything like that, so I have to do that with a hand bomb. I call a skill saw, circular saw, whatever you want to call it. Another easy way to figure it out is it's 4 inches and 12. 12 divides by 3 4 times. So in other words, for every 3 inches up, it's 1 inch. We're going 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches is half of 3. So that duplicates your number, half in 1.5 inches. So we need to take a half an inch off the edge of this board. So that when it sits down on here, it'll sit flush and come up square at the far side. So we got 38 inches here. This thing is pretty solid, be pretty solid just the way it is, but you want to make sure that it's not going to collapse. I don't know whether I need two trusses going down there, only one more. You just need something in here to attach the plywood to. You want this strong enough so that somebody does step on it in the future that it's not going to break. That's all that really matters. It'll be plenty strong enough. Strong enough just the way it is, to be honest. But we're going to support it some more. And then, like I say again, it's mainly to support the plywood, but also if somebody stepped in here on the plywood, they would break it. Spacing of these braces is kind of arbitrary. Certainly doesn't have to be on a 16-inch center or anything that's standard. However, I will choose 16 inches as the location for the first one. You can see this angle is not right, and that angle isn't right, and the length isn't right. So what we got to do, take this to the saw. We can cut this angle right away. The saw's already set up, and just take a cut that off. So what we want to do, we want to determine what the angle of that saw blade, because this is going to be, I'm going to make this cut, and it has to be a compound cut, and you have to cut it on. You have to take away the material in the right place. So I'd set this up originally for a quarter, so that isn't enough. Let's cut this square. And what we want to do is set the blade up so that we're see that we're taking a ½ an inch off. What I do is clamp everything. I can't stand hanging onto a board and running a skill saw and the stupid thing sliding in your left hand, and you're trying to cut the saw and hold the stupid safety guard at the same time. So what we want to do, hold the saw on here, chase the end of the board, and see how far we mark. So, question is, did we get ½ an inch? Yes, we are taking away ½ an inch. So the saw is set up right. So that's the mark, and this is the angle. So I can bring this up here like that. And we can mark that on there. Now, we can also double check that with our protractor. Holding this square on here, if you can see the line here, you'll see that it, square there, two lines line up. So we have copied the same angle. I was worried about the cut, that it might not be true, but it's good. So this is left, so we need to take material off of this side here, and if I hold my saw the way I got it set, it's going to take, it will be taking material off the wrong side. So we got to transfer that mark to the other side of the board. Yeah. So this is alongside 20 inches. See how that fits? That's nice and square. This is matched the slope. And we bring this up here like that. There is your board. Perfect. So we just have to copy that to the other side and get the slope right. So this is left. This is right. All right. mark that angle on there. So yes, it was 32 degrees. That looks right. Okay. 32. Cut that. Okay. Now, again, so this is right, which means it goes this way. Mark that at 20 inches. Transfer that mark to this side and this side just in case, because I'm not 100% sure. What I just should point out is you're cutting this one this way from that side, and it fits over here. You should do the opposite, the other side. Clamp this, cut it this way, and bring the saw this way, and it will cut material off of that. So, good news is, it's opposite of the other one. So we should be right. So left goes on the left, and right goes on the right. Okay, so that's good. Now the question is, do I really need another piece of material in there to finish this off? Or do I need another, I guess it wouldn't hurt. Okay, so that is my Cricket. And any final adjustments I have to make on the roof, but that's a lot of work done down here where it's comfortable. As you can see, I did add a third set of trusses, and I took a couple more pictures in the garage. Then I took them up on the roof to show you what they're going to look like in place. As I said before, cutting out the shingles and doing the actual final installation I'll do at a later time. So that's it for today.